Hey there, and welcome. Have you ever bought something, gotten it home, and it's just faulty? Or maybe you've had to deal with service so bad you felt totally powerless. Yeah, it's a super frustrating feeling, and honestly, we've all been there. Today, we're going to talk about a really powerful resource you have on your side for exactly those situations. So, you've done all the right things, right? You called the company, you sent the emails, but you're just not getting anywhere. It really can feel like you've hit a solid brick wall, and all those consumer rights you hear about feel like they don't mean much. But what if I told you that's not the end of the story? That's right. There's an organization out there that was specifically created to step in, to be a neutral party, and to help you get a fair outcome. This is an ally that's totally independent and, maybe the most important part, it costs you absolutely nothing to use their services. So here's what we're going to cover in this explainer. First, we'll meet this consumer rights champion. Then we'll talk about the one crucial step you have to take before you can contact them. After that, we'll break down the entire complaint process step by step. We'll also be real about what they can and can't do, check out their track record, and wrap up with a quick look at your basic consumer rights. Okay, so who is this powerful ally we're talking about? Let's get right to it. Meet your consumer rights champion, the Consumer Goods and Services Ombud, or as we'll call them, the Cgso. The Cgso isn't just some random group. They were actually set up by the Consumer Protection Act to act as a kind of neutral referee between you and a supplier. And they operate on three huge principles. They're impartial, which means they don't play favorites. They're independent, so they're not in the pocket of any businesses. And their service is free, which is so important because it means justice isn't only for those who can afford it. And what they do is pretty broad. I mean, yes, their main job is to mediate your specific dispute, but they also enforce a code of conduct for entire industries, they help educate all of us on our rights, and they even spot patterns of bad behavior to tackle big recurring problems. So they're not just fixing single issues, they're trying to make the whole system fair for everyone. Okay, this next part is so important. Before you rush off to the Cgso for help, there is one absolutely crucial step you have to take first. You've got to give the business a fair shot to make things right themselves. So you need to contact them directly, explain the problem clearly, and tell them what you think a fair solution would be. And here's a pro tip. Document everything. I'm talking receipts, emails, screenshots, even notes from your phone calls with dates and names. Trust me, this paper trail is going to be your best friend. All right, so let's say you've done that. You've tried to sort it out with the supplier, and you've gotten absolutely nowhere. Now it's time to bring in your ally. Let's walk through exactly how the Cgso process works. The whole thing can be broken down into these 6 main stages. It starts when you first lodge your complaint and goes all the way to a final recommendation and closing the case. It's a really clear, structured roadmap, which is designed to be fair and efficient. So step 1, lodging the complaint, and they've made it really easy to get started. You can go online, you can send an email, or you can even just give them a call. Now remember that paper trail you created? This is where it becomes your superpower. You need to provide all those supporting documents right from the beginning. Okay, next up are steps 2 and 3. First, the Cgso does a quick check to see if your complaint is something they can actually handle. That's what they call assessing jurisdiction. If it is, they move to step 3. They officially forward your complaint to the supplier. The supplier then gets 15 business days to respond and hopefully sort it out with you. You'd be surprised how often that official letter is all it takes. Now, if talking it out during mediation doesn't work, the case gets escalated to adjudication. Now, don't picture some big courtroom drama. This is much more straightforward. An independent adjudicator simply reviews all the evidence from your side and the supplier's side, and then makes a formal, impartial recommendation for how to solve the issue fairly. And this is the moment of truth. What happens after that recommendation is made? Well, if you and the supplier both accept it, that's it. Case closed, problem solved. But what if the supplier says no? The good news is you're not at a dead end. You have the right to take your case to the next level, to the National Consumer Commission. You know, you can really tell a lot about an organization by how open they are about what they can't do. So to build that trust, it's really important for us to understand the Cgso's limits. So, for example, they can't take on complaints about something that happened more than 3 years ago. If a case is already in the court system, they can't touch it. And this one's key. If an industry has its own specific ombud, like for banking or cars, you have to go there first. And finally, their goal is to get you a fair outcome, like a refund or a replacement. They don't award punitive damages to punish a company. So, you might be wondering, does this whole process actually get results? Well, the numbers speak for themselves. Let's take a quick look at the Cgso's impact. Just think about this. In 2022 alone, the CGSO handled just shy of 14,000 complaints. That is a massive number of cases, and it shows you two things. One, how big the need for this service is, and two, how many people are already using it to get help. But what about actual tangible results? In that same year, the CGSO's work led to over 11 million rand in value being returned to consumers. We're talking refunds, replacements. That's real money back in the pockets of people just like you and me. And of course, the big question is always, how long is this going to take? Well, the CGSO aims to get a typical case resolved within 60 days. That's pretty quick. It shows they're committed to not just a fair outcome, but a fast one too, because they respect your time. Finally, let's just remember that this whole process, everything we've talked about, is built on the foundation of your rights. And honestly, knowing these rights is your first and best line of defense. Here are just a few of your core rights under the Consumer Protection Act. For instance, the right to disclosure of information means a company has to tell you all the important stuff up front, no hidden costs. And the right to fair and honest dealings protects you from things like false advertising. Understanding these simple ideas really empowers you in every single purchase you make. You know, this quote just says it all, doesn't it? The system is there for you. It's easy to access, it's fair to both sides, and it was created for one simple reason: to protect you, the consumer. So if you're stuck in a dispute with a supplier and you feel like you've hit a wall, please, don't just give up. Reach out to the Consumer Goods and Services Ombud. All the info you need to get in touch is right there. It's time to take that next step and let your consumer rights champion go to work for you.